In 1849, a prospector named James Marshall found flakes of gold in the mill that he was working in. He soon later started to tell people what it was and that it was very valuable.
Once people found out that there was gold, they started to rush to San Francisco, California. And according to the people, it suddenly became the most popular place in California. There was about 100,000 people that lived here.
California was discovered in January 1848. It took the settlers a little more than a month to reach the California. They came by horses and wagons. They would take daily breaks and sleep in the wagons.
Most of them came to California because they wanted to look for gold. There were families that came from everywhere around the world, like Mexico, Chile, Peru, India, and many other different places.
When the people arrived, they started to set camps in areas that had flat ground. They brought pickaxes, shovels, and many more tools with them to help them find gold and make money.
When the settlers first arrived, they set up camp, which is now known as San Francisco. They would build up what looked like cabins and also a small pen for the horses. One wagon was filled with just supplies of food and water.
Go! While the settlers were trying to find gold, they ran into many Native Americans. The settlers would kill up to 25 to 30 natives a day, but some of the settlers were killed by natives because they were trying to protect themselves.
When natives ran into settlers, they were very startled. Most natives tried to stay away from the settlers as much as they possibly could. Later on, the settlers wanted the natives' land, which is all they had left after all the settlers had taken all their other land and made an agreement not to bother each other anymore until more time had passed.
James Marshall was building a sawmill when he first found the gold. Later, Marshall was following along the river and kept finding gold. Marshall was all wet while he was walking into John Sutter's office. Marshall decided the next day to gather separate teams and go out to the river to find as much gold as they could.
While they were mining, they used a couple of tools to dig deeper into the ground to see if they could find more of the gold. Two of the tools they used were a shovel and a pickaxe. It was a success for some of the miners using the tools, but for others it wasn't. When all the gold was suddenly starting to disappear, many of these settlers decided to stay in California and not go back to where they came from. They decided to stay in California because they realized how great of a place it was to live in.